Goeiedag, good day, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world.
I've been looking around for salvation. I've been looking around for the truth. All around me I see frustration, and I looked all over till I found you. I sit and listen to your stories, and you're telling me, please don't worry. A lot in this world you should know, and love in life is where you should go. If you're looking for somewhere to go, if you're looking for someone to know, if you're looking for someone to guide you, then love in life will guide you.
Goeienaand, good evening, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world, and welcome to tonight's live stream. And tonight I'm talking to, let me get my face on the screen. There we go. Hi everybody. What a faux pas. Anyway, alright, tonight I'm talking to a young man. He's just over 25 who's started or taken over a business that his father started, and he's basically taken it to a whole new level. And we're going to be talking about that before we get into the product that he's got, which is really, really exciting. And without any further ado, let me get Herman Coetzee on. And we're going to be talking about dehydrated fruit, vegetables, meat, you name it. Great prepping stuff. And here we go. Hi Herman.
Good evening, Scott.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks, and you?
Good. Can you turn your camera on? There we go.
It's on?
Now, you're in darkness. Whoa. What happened?
Yeah, the generator will kick in now.
Okay, we got load shedding, have we?
Yes, the load shedding just started by us.
Well, this is the creepiest live stream I've ever had starting this way. I just see a black screen, but I guess once your generator kicks in, it'll be good. All right. So, Herman, first off, introduce us to your wife.
My wife's name is Chanel Pretorius.
Good evening.
Hi, Chanel. Good to meet you.
I'm from Stilfontein, and mostly I was from Rustenburg, moved to Stilfontein, and that's mostly why I get to know Herman and all his family. It's been 5 years now since I get to know. It's 11 years in total, mostly but in between a month or year we did not talk. There's really a lot of reasons why, but it's 5 years now. I get to know his father and his brothers. So it was quite a big shock when we lost his father.
Yeah. Okay. Look, we'll get to that in a minute. Herman, you're still in. It's still a black screen. Is there any way you can get a light on or something?
Yes. I'll do that now.
Okay. Guys, we're just going to get some light on the situation because It's very dark there. For those of you who don't live, there we go, fantastic. For those of you who don't live in South Africa, this is quite common. This is called load shedding, or it's a blackout, I guess you could call it in a place like America. And it's a regular event in South Africa. In fact, I put a video up yesterday about the huge blackout in Pretoria, where some of the big pylons were taken down because the residents of a local township had been tearing apart the structure, which is at the base of the pylon. And of course, the pylons were weakened and they just fell over. Anyway, that's South Africa for you. Nothing is sacred. What's happened to Chanel, Herman?
She just quickly went to, how can I say, to go and get the generator up and started.
Ah, okay, cool. All right. Now, Herman,
Yes.
is that your mobile phone?
It's Chanel's.
Oh, okay, right. Perhaps she can turn it off when she comes back. Now,
Yes.
let's get started. Tell us a bit about your life. Chanel says that you've known her for about 11 years, and obviously she's a big part of your life. You grew up in near Stilfontein as well, did you?
Actually, no. Originally, I was actually born in Johannesburg, in Palaborwa, that area.
Right.
And, well, since I can remember, about from 2004, we actually moved to a farm that my father purchased. And, yeah, well, we lived there up until, what, 2011?
Right. And
Yeah.
And how did this idea of dehydrated food start out? It was started by your father, wasn't it?
Yes, that's correct.
Tell us a bit about that.
Okay, how it started out was my father was an IT technician, and well, the company he worked for closed down. So he moved to another company, Frankie Services, and well, one thing led to another. He also lost his job there, and things started actually getting, how can I say, very tough for us. Eventually, we lost the farm and everything. And my father looked for a better way of storing food since things didn't go too well. How can I say? Refrigerating and stuff was a bit of a problem because at that time we were living on the, how can I say, on the farm next to us. The owner there, he helped us out with a small space there to live for a while.
Right.
And yeah. Well, that's how we started it all back then. There were a bunch of different methods used to do it, different packaging, and that's how, the long process started of finding out the best way to keep them stored in the best way possible for them not going bad.
Right. So your father, you could say, is a prepper. He's someone who preps for a time when maybe there's a shortage of food.
Yes, that's correct. My whole life, he brought me and my brothers up with the mentality of rather have and not need than need and not have. So yeah, our whole life we've basically we have been preparing for anything that can happen.
Right. Well, I've got to say he's a very wise man. Very wise man. Now, is Chanel going to join you again?
Yes, she'll be here now.
Okay, right. All right. Well, look, let's get into your involvement, because your dad passed away a couple of years ago, didn't he?
No, actually the 1st of February this year.
Oh, okay. So that must have been a bit of a shock for you.
Yes, that was actually a bit of a big shock for me. When I did receive the call from my brother, I already knew, and yeah, it's not that easy, but yeah, we keep the boat floating.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the boats that you've kept, or balls you've kept in the air. Welcome back, Chanel.
Thank you.
Right, now, one of the balls that you kept in the air is his little, it wasn't actually a business back then, it was just something he did for the family, wasn't it?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, it was only done for mainly ourselves. Yes.
Right. Okay. And you took the bull by the horns and you said, well, if he can do it, I can do it. So tell us
Um,
about that process. What happened there?
well, how can I say? My father spoke to my brothers first, hearing if they wouldn't have been interested in carrying on with this once he has passed away. And well, all of them said no. It was the same thing all over again when my dad owned the scrap metal business that he started to, just keep on getting an income. And yeah, that's when he got his first heart attack actually. And yeah, I took the scrap metal business over as well and ran it for a few years. But when my mother passed away, we closed down the scrap metal business, and he how can I say, started, yeah, he made the dried food business into actually a business and no longer just a storing method for us ourselves.
Right. Okay. Now, when he died, or when he passed away, and obviously he wasn't going to be doing the dehydrated foods anymore, you decided that you were going to actually take over. Had you any
Yeah.
training in this at all?
Yes, through the course of the years, I did help my father with the drying and the packing and the boxing of it, the sending out of the parcels, helping him to go and buy the products, processing them. So yeah, in the meantime, I did help him, not as much as I actually would have liked to. And yeah, I only realize it now after he's gone. But yeah, it's the way it is. They say you always regret things once they are gone.
Yeah, and I just want to say that Marlena de Villiers, who you've been speaking to, she looks after my live streams. She said in the side chat, "This guy's dehydrated food is excellent. My sister already ordered. Fantastic quality." So there you go. That's a little testimonial for you. So tell us what the process is in preparing food so that you can store it. You can store it for up to about 7 years, can't you?
Yes, the minimum time that we actually stored products was for 7 years. The longest will be now for going 9 years. But yeah, that's the reason why I say it's a minimum of 7 years, because I do have packets that are 7 years and a bit older than that, and tasting quality, no difference. The color is the same as it was the day it was packed. So yeah, that's the reason why I can say with confidence that for 7 years at a minimum, the food can be stored with no hassle at all.
Right. Now just talking about the volume of food that you can dehydrate, because it's basically a two-man show, isn't it? At the moment that you've got.
Yes.
Well,
Yes,
how much product
Yes.
can you produce a week?
At the current moment, I do about, you can say about 100 kilogram a week.
Is that after it's been dehydrated?
Yes, that's after rehydration, packed and in the storage containers. Yeah.
Right. Okay. And that's just yourself, basically.
Yeah, it's just me and my wife doing it.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. And Chanel, what role do you play in this?
Mostly I do the admin, the quotations and the invoices, the printing of the labels and the packing. He does all the planning and for the dryer and the planning to go and buy. The rest of the admin work is mostly on me and the courier, all of the admin side.
Right. Okay. So take us through the process, Herman. How you go out and you buy some, let's say, some vegetables, and what happens from there?
Well, from there, obviously we wash them, and yeah, then it gets either diced or cut into the preferred form. Most of the products that I do use are diced. Things like cauli and broccoli flour, obviously you just break them off into their chlorids and wash them off as well. From there they go onto the trays and they enter the dryer. Once they are in the dryer, every 6 to 10 hours the trays gets rotated, the product gets turned around, and once it's dry it gets taken out.
Right. Okay.
The only thing that really does get any additives or does get cooked is mince. We do add some salt to it, and we do cook the mince. The only reason for that is if you don't do it, the mince actually tends to go bad. You can't just dry out the mince and store it. It doesn't last. Within a year's time, it starts going bad, even if it's vacuum sealed.
Right. Okay. Now look, when you talk about mince, it sounds crazy to me that you can actually store mince for up to 7 years, because I mean mince is it's a protein. It's not like a vegetable. So surely that is far. I mean, I've heard of the famous story of a McDonald's burger that someone put in a drawer and they forgot about it, and they came back 6 months later, and it looked exactly the same because it was so full of preservatives, and it just showed how unhealthy a McDonald's burger actually is. But your dried mince, how does it not go wrong? How does it not go? It must be.
How does it not spoil?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. The main reason is we use ultra lean mince, which is mince that has a low fat content. And the reason why the salt is used in that process is salt is a preservative, especially for meat. Now, the reason why mince actually works, the best, is the reason it's small, and once it's cooked, there are no bacteria and anything left inside of them, and the salts help with the preservation. It helps keeps the mince not actually going bad. And with any food, heat and moisture is your two main components that make any food go bad. So because the food is dried out, there is no moisture, and as long as it's not in an area where it gets excessive heat, nothing does spoil it, because it's already cooked, so no bacteria can grow, and because of the lack of oxygen, and because oxygen has water molecules in the mince or any other product can't grow any moisture or get any any bacteria or anything in, because there's no moisture and no oxygen for anything to grow inside of the packet.
Right. Okay. Well, look, I want to tell you a little story. And this story relates to the Griqua people, who are a tribe in South Africa. They've actually got their main settlement near Plettenberg Bay, and it's called Kranshoek. And the Griquas, back in the early 1800s, when they were riding across the plains of South Africa, this is long before the Voortrekkers came up into the central part of South Africa. What they used to do, and this is fact, they would shoot, let's say, a buck, and they would skin it and then get the meat, and to make it biltong, what they would do is they would get a bit of string or rope, and they would tie one end of the meat and then another end of the meat, so you had like a bit of string and then two strands of meat, one on each side, and they would put that on over where they sat with the horse, and they would do this, sort of like 10 or 20 strips of meat on either side where they sat, and then they'd go riding, and the meat would pick up the salt and the sweat of the horse, and it would cure, and they would ride for days with the meat like that, and then they had biltong. That's how the Griquas made biltong. It's quite extraordinary, but it's a true story. Now,
it's something I actually didn't know.
Well, there's a story you can tell people now. Okay, so let's get back to your product. Okay, you do double vacuuming because that basically, as you said, it takes all the oxygen out of the out of the container, and your mints. If we just stick with mints for a second, you don't have any additives in your mints, do you? Like soy?
No, I've got nothing in it. It's pure beef, and the only thing that really gets added, like I'm saying, is salt. 8 grams of salt gets added per kilogram of raw mince, and it gets cooked in water until let's say 90% of the water is cooked away. Then from there, I put it in a strainer just for the excess of water to drip out that's left in it. And from there it goes into the dryer, and yeah, it's actually one of the products that dries the fastest.
Wow. Okay. Now look, Philly has asked, are any of your products organic?
All of them are organic.
Okay. So do you actually buy directly from farmers, or how do you get your product?
Around here it's a bit difficult to buy directly from farmers, and my orders do vary month to month. So the content of the different type of products that I do use differ month to month. So I just buy from the farmers market, and yeah, once I get them, I do wash them and process them from there.
Right. Okay. Now, your vegetables. Just talking about your vegetables. You don't have any additives in there, do you? It's just
No.
the vegetables.
Yes, I do not add anything into it. I am looking into doing potato now, but my problem with potato itself is it starts getting black. Now, with the research that I did do, they say you have to use something called a chip whitener that helps keep the whiteness form of the product, but then I have to start adding additives, and it's not something I wish to do.
Yeah. Well, look, there's a guy who I had on a live stream a few months ago. Marlena will be able to put you in contact with him. He actually dehydrates potatoes, so he might have some ideas for you.
Yes. Okay. That could help because I want to upgrade the spinach pack with something like a cheese sauce if the person who orders it chooses so, and to add some potato and onions to it, like a pre-mixed
It sounds
spinach.
it sounds like a lovely stew when you add the dried mints as well.
Yes, that can work actually. Yes.
Yeah. Now, Chanel, you must be really chuffed, or that's a good old English word, but you must be really proud of your husband. I mean, he's really taken this by the horns, hasn't he?
Yes, what happens over the past few years, I'm really proud of him. With everything that's happened to him, and he's still going strong, I'm really proud of him.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now, hi Henry, good to see you here. Okay, now Philly says, is it certified organic? That's the difference between just saying it's organic and having it certified as organic.
Well, I would rather say no, because it's difficult for me to say that it's certified organic. I do buy them fresh and I do process them myself, but the process from where it comes from up until where I buy it off of the shelf, it's a bit difficult for me to say what happens in that process.
Right. Now you're giving the Loving Life community a special offer, which I'm going to read out, and then you can just talk to that, okay, Herman? And the offer is, this is for everybody listening, and we'll give the contact details shortly for Herman. Herman is giving a discount of R5 per order of 50 packets and more, but if you use the code Scott at 13, that's the numbers 13, when you order, and your order is under 50 packets, that's under 50 packets, you will get a 5% discount as well. But orders of 50 packets or more, you do not get the 5% discount. So, in other words, it's a better idea to order 48 packets rather than 52, because then you'll probably be paying the same price, because you get the 5% discount on 48 packets. Now, talking about these packets, Herman, first off, is what I said correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so Loving Life community, we know the food is absolutely delicious. We've had that testimonial from Marlena's sister. And, okay. Marlena says here, not organic, difficult to find, and price would be much higher. Well, I've just taken it from what Herman says that it is organic, so we'll leave it at that. Now, when it comes to delivery, you do nationwide delivery, don't you?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
I use Courier Guy as my preferred delivery system. Yes.
Okay, and they deliver to the door.
Yes, they deliver door to door. They also do Pudo. I'm not a big fan of the Pudo system that they do have, because they tend to be a bit careless with the packages that do get put into the Pudo lockers. So I rather prefer the door to door delivery that Courier Guy does. It's a lot better service that they give than the Pudo service.
Right. Okay, now there's a discussion here going about organic or not organic in the side chat. I'll just tell you what they're saying. Marlena says no one can buy organic from local markets. And Philly says organic has to be more expensive, e.g. tomatoes will be ready from transplant to produce within 6 weeks. But if I grow my own, it takes 3 months. So, all right, I'm not a grower, so I wouldn't know, but I am a big prepper, so I totally get the reason and the need for people to get this sort of food. Now, how do you market your dehydrated foods, Herman? Is it on social media or what?
Yes, I do have a Facebook page and a Facebook profile. The name is Dried Foods. And then the other source of my advertisement is Desmond. He's got a YouTube channel, Double O Des, and he helped my father actually a lot with the marketing of the business. And most of the clients that we do have does come from his YouTube channel.
Right. Okay. Well, that's going to change. Because Loving Life is the original and biggest and best social media platform to be on. All right. Now, okay, so we've talked about delivery. We've talked about how you actually put the product together. Can you tell us what your range of product is?
Yes, I do have a range of 15 different products. Okay, some of them are mixed up together, like the mince and mixed vegetable packet that we do have that has its own sauce packet with it. Then we do have the mince. We've got mixed vegetables themselves. We've got spinach. It's sweet potato that we do have. Peas. We do have beans, butternut, cauliflower, sweet corn, carrots. We started now with the onions again. And the other two products that we did add now recently is, how can I say, a Hawaiian stir-fry mix and a country mix.
Right. Okay. Now, let me just have a look here. I'm just looking through some points here. Now, this brown onion, is that a better onion to store than the normal onion?
Yeah, we just use the normal onion. I do use red onions in the Hawaiian stir fry mix. So the one is not better than the other one. I would say it depends on taste and what you do prefer. But red onions are a lot more expensive than normal onions.
All right. And obviously price is a key factor in what you produce.
Yes, that's true. I try to keep the prices as low as possible, because the drying process itself uses up a lot of energy. And backup energy itself is not cheap. Inverters and solar panels and batteries, and the whole system is not a very cheap system. Even running a generator it really takes up a cost. And then it's buying of the product itself as well.
Right. Okay. And how do people store your product? Well, you mentioned that it's got to be in a cooler spot and it's got to be obviously in a dry spot. But what's your advice to people when it comes to storing your product?
I would say the best is to put it in an airtight container, and especially away from the stove and the fridge. Preferably in a corner that doesn't really get a lot of sun, and that doesn't build up a lot of heat as well. It's the best method actually to store the products.
So, like, for example, a cupboard in your bedroom or something like that?
Yes, that would work perfectly, yes.
Right, okay. Now, I'm just looking at your points here, and I see that you've got a variety of 10 different vegetables, and that your mince and mixed vegetables are the most popular product that you have. Okay, and is that the one with the sauce?
Yes, that's correct. The mince and mixed vegetable with the sauce, we really get a lot of orders that the most of the content is that product, and then normal mince and mixed vegetables themselves. Those are the 3 products that actually sell the best between everything.
Right. Okay. Now look, talking about that particular product, what weights do they come in?
Okay, they come in different weights. The packets that rehydrate to 1 kg. On the mince itself, 140 grams of dried mince rehydrate to a kilogram of, not a kilogram, a half kilogram of wet mince.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes, and when it comes to the mince and mixed vegetables, 190 grams of dried mince and mixed vegetables rehydrate to about 700 grams of uncooked value. And the other one we do have is half packets that we call 1 to 2 person packets. On the mince it weighs 70 grams,
right,
which rehydrates to plus minus 250 grams. And with the mince and mixed vegetables, the half packets weigh 90 grams that rehydrate to roughly 350 grams.
All right, and let's look at some costs. For example, the 90-gram packet, and then you said you've got a 170-gram packet. What are the prices of those per packet?
Okay, on the mince and mixed vegetables, the cost on a 1 to 2 person pack is 42 rand per packet.
Now, is that the 90-gram packet?
Sorry, the 90-gram packet, the 1 to 2 person packet. The cost is 85 rand for a packet.
And that's 90 grams?
Yes, that's 90 grams of dried value.
And then once you actually add the water and you cook it, it goes up to about 350 grams?
Yes, that's correct.
Right, okay, and the 170 gram goes up to about 700 grams. So what is that the cost of the 170 gram packet?
It's actually 190 grams.
190 grams, yeah.
Yes, and it's 145 for a packet that rehydrates to 700 grams of uncooked value.
So that's 145 rand.
Yes, that's
okay.
correct.
And what sort of costs are there with delivery?
Most of the packages that go out for delivery, it all depends on destination, the size of the packet, and Those are the two main factors. Average at around 150 rand for courier. Actually, most of it is 160, but I don't really charge more than 150.
Right. Okay. So, what is the normal order that you get? Surely people don't just order 1 or 2 packs. They order quite a few, don't they?
Yes, the normal range of orders that I do get is in the area of about 4,000 rand for the order, which is about depending on size of packets that you take, either 1 kilogram packets or half kilogram packets. But in 1 kilogram packets, it will be around about 30 to 40 packs, and half packets, 500 gram packets, is around about 60 packs that gets into order like that. It also depends on the variety of product that is chosen.
Right. Now, Herman, are you thinking of upscaling? In other words, starting to employ people to help you with the business as it grows?
I am looking into that, but the thing is, how can I say, building the necessary machinery to do the dehydrating is quite expensive, and currently, I just don't do the dehydrated foods. I also do have a day-to-day job that I do. So yes, my wife does most of the work regarding the processing and packaging. So yeah, I just pack the dryer. I rotate the things, and make sure that the product gets dried evenly throughout the tray. But yeah, I am busy in the process of expanding. It's just, the materials required to build the extra machinery is quite expensive.
Now, you just mentioned you've got another day job as well. Now,
Yes,
you're a mechanic, aren't you?
Yes, I'm a mechanic on trucks.
Wow. Okay, is this, do you work for someone or is this your own business?
No, I work for Multi-Brake Services in Klerksdorp.
Okay, all right. Okay, well, look, that's fantastic. Is there anything you'd like to add about your products or the vision that you have for your products?
How can I say? I wish to expand the products to at least dry every vegetable on the market except Brussels sprouts. I'm not going to be doing Brussels sprouts. We did try it, but it's a total mess.
What happens with Brussels sprouts?
Okay, first of all, the smell that Brussels sprouts give off when drying, the smell is horrible, and it it takes long. I had it in the dehydrator for 15 days, and it was only dehydrated halfway.
Wow.
So, yes, at the end of the day, we didn't actually carry on. We actually took it out of the dryer and I got rid of it.
Tossed it.
Yes, because, if it has to take me 30 days or let's say 20 days to dry the Brussels sprouts, just the cost alone for the electricity to keep that dryer ongoing with it is going to push that product on a limit where it won't be suitable, won't be cost effective for people.
No Brussels sprouts, eh?
Yes, it's not something I'm looking into doing again. And yes, I would like to upgrade my machinery to at least do 200 kilograms, every 2 days.
Wow.
But yeah, it is going to take some how can I say, financing for that.
Yeah.
I looked into buying the machinery. Now I can buy them, but the smallest, cheapest machine I can find is $30,000.
Wow.
And that's not even delivery included.
Wow. Okay. So
Yes.
that's a huge jump up when you go to that level.
Yes, that's true. A machine that will actually work to my preference. It costs $80,000, but it will be a lot cheaper for me to build that same machine in South Africa than buying it and getting it delivered. but yeah, as you know, money doesn't fall out of the sky, and yeah, well, it takes a process to build up to a scale like that.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right. Now, just to summarize, you've got a range of products that you manufacture, which are dehydrated. You have instructions on all the packets on how to rehydrate your food for eating. What is your product actually called?
It's dried foods. It's what we call the company, and yeah, well,
So it's just called dried foods?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, all right. Now, the way you market this is through your Facebook page. If you can, or Chanel can send me the link, I will put it below this video so people can go to the Facebook page and contact you that way. Is there any other way that you market your foods?
No, the only other way that we do market is Desmond from Double O Des helps us with marketing. My father and I used to have a website, but we did end up shutting it down. The cost of maintaining the website versus the actual amount that it gets used it really doesn't make sense. So yeah, we no longer actually use the website.
Right. Okay. Well, look, just let me have that Facebook link, and we'll put it down below the video for you.
Okay.
Is there anything you'd like to say, Chanel? I'm sorry, I've been putting all my questions to Herman. Is there anything you'd like to say?
No. He's mostly, he inherited the business. I just help him through it all because he was the one that supported me when I needed support. So it's my way of thanking him.
So he's the boss?
Yes, he's the boss.
Okay.
So what does the boss have to say just in wrapping up this live stream? Is there anything you'd like to add, Herman?
What I would like to say is I would very much appreciate the support that everyone can give me in growing the business, expanding it, and how can I say, just preparing a alternative food source for yourself for any scenario that can happen. As we all know, the world isn't what it was 80 years ago, and if we just look at news itself, things aren't really looking good for not really any country. The BRICS community taking on the US dollar. That's one example, and everything that does happen, the chaos that's currently even in South Africa itself. So I really do try my best delivering the best product that I can, and yeah, I would appreciate if anyone that does place orders can just have a little bit of patience. My stock levels, how can I say, are limited, and I can only do so much at a time. But I try to work the fastest way I can, and like I said, delivering the best product that I can deliver.
Yeah, well, the quality is obviously the most important thing. Now, is there Marlena's raised a good point here. Is there a cell phone number people can call if they want to speak to you directly about your product?
Yes, there is.
What is it?
071.
Yeah.
Is it name?
Yeah.
Yeah. 071 679.
Yeah.
70.
Yep.
68.
Okay, let me repeat that to you. 071 679 7068.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, I'm just going to put here Herman's cell.
Yeah. Sorry, I've got it memorized in Afrikaans, so for me to suddenly give it in English, it's
that's not a problem. Not a problem. All right, Herman. Look, I just want to say, congrats, buddy. I'm really in awe that someone so young, who's really faced a lot of hurdles in his life, and has just lost his father, is taking the bull by the horns and actually going out there and producing something that's not only generating income for your family, but it's also helping people prep, because prepping is going to be such a big thing. And I've got a word of advice for you, okay? And that word of advice is, when it comes to prepping, one of the critical things that I tell people to do is to make sure that they have a fair amount of cash in hand. They don't leave all their money sitting in the bank. And the reason I say that is twofold. One, because if there's load shedding, for example, and you go to a shop, your plastic card is pretty well useless because they can't use it. And the second thing is that if the banks do collapse, which it looks like there's a possibility it could happen, the entire banking system, cash, which is like the 100 Rand note, the 200 Rand note, the 5 Rand coin, that sort of cash is still acceptable even if the banks have collapsed, because that cash is actually guaranteed not by the big banks but by your government. So it's actually a different type of cash. So do consider having cash at home, just in case. It's a way to financially prep. I can tell you, I've got about I've got a fair amount of cash at home, and importantly, I've got a lot of small change, because if let's say the power goes out in South Africa, your credit cards you can't use, the banking system is cactus. If you got cash, you can still go to a shop with that change and buy stuff. And so it's a very, very important prepping tool to have.
Okay. I will actually consider, getting more cash on hand. My father actually taught us that, if anything has to happen, how long will the money that we know actually be in effect? So he actually told us, turning your cash into things like silver and gold is a better way to, have a cash flow when anything does happen, because it's still an acceptable form of trade. So me myself, I'm a bit more prepared on the silver side. Gold is a bit expensive, but silver is a little bit cheaper getting in hand, especially the Kruger rands. 1 ounce of Kruger rands currently trade for about 850 Rand. So yeah, I've got a fair amount of them.
Are you talking the silver Kruger rands?
Yes, the silver Kruger
1 ounce,
yes.
Yeah. Because the gold Kruger Rand 1 ounce, I was just looking earlier this evening, is getting close to 40,000 Rand.
Yeah, those are quite expensive.
Now look, I just want to say once again that what you've just said is brilliant. I've got a lot of silver and I've got a lot of physical gold, because that has always been money. And for those, and you would have seen this, I'm sure. The gold price in November 2019 was about 21,000 Rand per ounce, and today it's very close to 37,000 Rand per ounce. So that's a jump of 16,000 Rand in value in 3 years. That's not bad. That's not a bad investment. And there's only one way it can go when money goes funny, and that's gold and silver are going to go right through the roof.
Yeah, that's correct. That's what my father always said. He said,
yeah.
Silver itself, he said, is a very how can I say, unvalued form of how can I say, of possession. Let me put it in those words. He said, yeah. It's something that's very actually undervalued. But he said, if something really needs to happen, he said silver and gold will be one of the top two valuables that will go around. He said other forms of things that people will be able to trade are things like food and guns and things
toilet
like that.
Paper.
Yes,
it's called bartering, but yes, you're spot on. All right, mate. Look,
yes.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and I'll just wait for your wife to come back and join you, and then we'll wrap up the live stream.
Okay.
Now, all right. So, yeah, look, we've taken a bit of a... we've gone off the topic a bit, but look, it's important, and I'm delighted that you mentioned silver and gold, because we've actually had quite a few live streams on Loving Life TV where we've talked about investing in silver and gold. And in fact, the guy who I met when I was in South Africa last month was Dion Rebello, who's got a company called DCX Bullion, and he actually supplies right down to 1 gram little medallions. So a silver 1 gram, you don't have to take a whole 1 ounce silver into the shop. You can take a 1 gram and get a basket full of groceries, opposed to buying the whole shop with your 1 ounce silver coin. So it's there are a whole lot of little tricks to look at when it comes to investing in silver and gold. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight, and I'll just wrap up by once again just telling people what this offer is, and let me just get it here. Okay, so this is especially for the Loving Life community. This is the discount that's been offered by Herman with his products, and I'll put the Facebook page down below this video, and his cell phone number is already in the side chat, but the discount is R5 for orders of 50 packets and more. But if you use the code Scott at, if I hope you got your pen there, Scott, that's SCOTT at 13, when you order, and your order is under 50 packets, you will get a 5% discount as well as the R5 discount. But orders of 50 packets or more will not get the 5% discount. So make your orders just slightly less than 50 packets. All right. Thanks, guys. Take care and have a great evening. And I hope that your business absolutely flourishes and takes off. And, good luck with it.
Thanks a lot. And Scott, I would like to say thank you for the opportunity. Thanks for having me here tonight. And thanks for letting me, being able to tell my story and what I can offer to the community. Just to help people, being a step forward. It's like I said earlier, it's rather better to have and not need than to need and not have.
Right. No, I totally agree with you. Alrighty, take care, and Chanel, lovely to meet you.
Thank you. You too.
And I can see you look like you're pretty well rugged up, and Herman's just got a t-shirt on. Is it cold there tonight?
A lot, yes.
Yeah, winter is starting to get to us now.
Yeah, starting to bite. Yeah, well, it's starting to bite here in Brisbane as well. I'm going to be going to trackies soon. I normally wear trackies when I'm going through the winters. All right, guys, take care and bye for now.
I say, no problem. Thanks a lot, and good night, everyone. And thanks again, Scott. I appreciate.
Take care.
Have a nice evening.
Lovely to meet you both. Bye.
Same to you. Bye.
All right, guys, that was Herman and Chanel Coetzee, and they've got that product which we will. That's dehydrated foods, which we will put the link to their Facebook page below this video, and also we've got the cell phone number that I'll also put below this video if you want to speak to Herman directly. I'm going to go out with, I think, here I'm doing my little dance around the camera again. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go out with Hier Bly Ek Boer. I think that's probably the best song to go out with tonight. Okay, let me just find it. There we go. Take care, everybody, and see you tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Johannesburg time. Bye for now.
Meer as 61,000 van ons voorvaders het op die grens van ons gesterwe, sodat ons vry kan wees. Die is my land. Die is my reg. Hier is ek boer. Stop is ek gemaak en sal ek terugkeer. Bybel is die woord waaruit ek leer, soos die grond op die aarde. Hier bly ek boer. Soos diep in die nag sal die vyand kom, maar hier bly ek staan en ek draai nie om, want jy maak my nie bang nie. Hier bly ek boer. Die is my land waarvoor ek sal veg. Die is my bloed, my zweet, my rug. Die is die plek waar my voorvaders leef. Die is my land, hoor wat ek jou sê. Die is my land, wat my mense voer. Hier bly ek voor. Soos blaassam in die somer wat vreugde bring, my oupa wat maniekie kon sing, soos hy stap deur die lande. Hier was hy boer. My wortels lê diep in die grond geplant. My seun soos my pa los ek vir jou die land, en jy hoef nie te vrees nie. Hier sal jy boer. Die is my land waarvoor ek sal veg. Die is my bloed, my zweet, my rug. Die is die plek waar my voorvaders leef. Die is my land, hoor wat ek jou sê. Die is my land, wat my mense voer. Hier bly ek voor. Die sal kom, 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 die sal kom. Die is my land waarvoor ek sal